Okay, so could you just say who you are, where you're from?
Peter, my name's David Ngatae. I'm from the Cook Islands, which is in the Pacific.
And what's your role here in Bali? What are you doing here?
I'm here representing the NGOs, all the NGOs in the Cook Islands. I'm also on a government delegation.
Okay. And what are you sort of hoping to get out of this whole conference? You know, what do you think you might be able to achieve?
Well, the main thing is to get our voices heard, the small islands in the Pacific. The climate change, really it's a climate crisis problem that we have, has got to a point where it's really affecting the smaller islands, especially in the northern group. We had 5 cyclones last year, all in a row, in about a 2-month period. We had 5, one after the other, just came. And what's actually happening up there is the sea level is rising to a point where salt water has got into the growing areas now, and it's getting difficult to grow food. And people are starting to move to the southern group, which have mountains, a few mountains higher ranges. But
so this conference, you know, all the talk of percentages and what have you. I mean, this is a matter of life and livelihoods already for a whole range of people.
Well, it's already happening to us. You know, it's no longer a change; it's a crisis. You know, we need to tell the world that the 2 degrees that they're talking about is just far too much for us. You know, it's already happening. You know, we can't talk about 2 degrees right now because the main thing being, if we accept 2 degrees, then how long before we start accepting 3 and 4 degrees as a standard?
You mentioned to me that the other day you went to a kind of an official meeting where the aviation industry were present. What were they saying?
Well, they didn't really say anything. What they were saying was that we should keep putting this discussion of counting aviation, pollution. We should put it off for another year. And I know they've been putting it off for many years now. And now they're keeping on saying that we should put it off again. And really, we need to start talking about aviation fuel. We need to start talking about shipping and aviation.
Yeah, because I mean, the emissions from these shipping and aviation are growing.
Well, we have to start counting it. We have to start talking about it before we can start counting it. You know, measuring how much, you know, the emissions is coming out of aviation and shipping. You know.
And there's a lot of campaigners in the UK who are, you know, interested in climate change and want to make something happen. What would your message be to them?
You have to start lobbying your governments. You know, you have to start lobbying your governments to act now, to start, you know, stopping the emissions now, and then look into alternative energy. We can't just keep on talking about these things and talking about them and maybe putting them off and looking at figures that we can adapt to. Well, we can't. In the Pacific Islands, we can't. You know, I mean, it's now. You know, our lives. You know, there are people moving off the islands now. Cultures are being lost. You know, we have to talk about these things now. And you know, and really, I'd like for your viewers to start lobbying your government. That's the only way we can do it. We need the people to get up and start lobbying governments all over the world, all over.
Thank you very much for your time, David.